basically talk about content writing and content creation. The agenda is roughly, we will obviously see what is content writing. Is it just getting your heading and your body and your conclusion message there, or is it something much more than that? 5 basic skills for a good content writer: how to create a niche and grab your attention. That is how to do effective content writing. How to navigate your thoughts. Like whenever we think about content writing, we have loads of good ideas, but how to channelize those ideas and make it readable and connect with the audience that we want to connect with is actually the art of content writing, or whether it's visual or whether it's writing. We will also discuss a bit on the different types of content. How to ace digital content. I'm glad a lot of people said social media content and blogs. These are all digital, mostly digital contents. And I will end in how to measure the success of the content that you're writing. So like I said, what is content writing? It is just structuring and editing and writing that, that we have a thought. I'm going to write about, suppose my travel, that I've just been somewhere, I want to write about that. Now, when I write about that, do I want to do some research and figure out how others have written about it? नहीं, ऐसे ही हम लिखेंगे तो maybe there's, and especially in the age of social media, everyday people are writing. So social media and digital media has made life easy for us. It has also made life difficult for us. While it has given us this entire repertoire, और इतने सारे हम research material दिया है, which is we just click our buttons, we get so much to research about. But it has also given us so much, an overabundance of content. हर कोई content writer, हर कोई कुछ ना कुछ लिख रहा है, हर कोई blog कर रहा है, हर कोई कुछ reel बना रहा है. And with a Facebook and a Insta and your LinkedIn, everybody is writing. The moment they step into the airport, they are live. कि हम यहाँ से यहाँ जा रहे हैं. So in this entire abundance and clutter of content, how do we stand out? How do we make people read what we are creating? So, and also when we are writing or creating something, every time, I always say this, every time we are putting out something in the social media, that is a calling card. Earlier, we used to call them a visiting card. Right now, it is a calling card. जब भी हम कहीं भी कुछ भी लेके, whether it's a Facebook or a LinkedIn or even a photo on Insta with one caption, we are establishing a part of who we are. हम सबकी खुद एक branding बन जाती है उससे. ठीक है? So whenever we are doing anything on the social media, the digital footprint, we are creating a brand for ourselves. So how are we positioning that brand? Are we positioning that we are specialists in a particular topic? Or are we solving a particular problem for a particular target audience? Or are we, maybe for example, are we all returnees to work who are facing a problem and we don't know how to go about it? Are we addressing those challenges that I am facing because I have been at home for a while? Or maybe I'm starting some career. Am I giving them a platform of sharing your doubts so that I can solve it? So हम ये हमारे content creation से, what are we doing? So the most important part is to figure out our goal of creating that content. That's where we begin. And most importantly, like I said, we are creating a brand. So you follow your own voice. It is my voice. I am saying, if you are writing personal travelogues or of creating a food blog or creating even a cooking video, or or solving a problem for all mothers with infants between 1 and 5, छोटे बच्चे के लिए कैसे उसका परवरिश करते हैं, मतलब करीना कपूर 2 किताबें लिखी है तो हम भी लिख सकते हैं. हम सब हमारे सबके बच्चे हैं. I don't know, I'm sorry for people who don't. I'm just saying. So are we solving a problem? But that is my voice. So Kareena Kapoor ne kya kiya? I'm not worried about that. What are the things I have learned from my experience? Because it's my brand, it's I'm who's speaking. So that I'm creating that voice and मेरी खुद की पहचान मैं बना रही. So that is important. So we'll start with the 5 basic skills for creating good content. One is the ability to research. So without research, we can't start writing. कुछ भी लिखने के पहले to figure out कि हम क्या लिखें और कैसे लिखें. It is important to research because whatever we write, one, it has to be factually authentic. It has to be credible. And it should not be something that 20,000 other people have written about. If they have written about, can I change my approach to it? That is what research will tell me. Okay. Now, suppose I'm writing about, for example, the most important thing, suppose I'm talking about 5 things you do to arrest hair fall. I can assure you 50% women will click. When it's hair fall and skin, all women will click. Okay. I will click myself. But when I'm tackling that, हमें ये देखना है कि बाकी तो और भी 1000 लोग लिखा है हेयर फॉल के बारे में. उन्होंने क्या लिखा है जो मुझे नहीं लिखना है. मेरा अप्रोच क्या डिफरेंट होना है, कैसे डिफरेंट होना है. That's what my research will tell me. Research will also tell me, either research or experience will also tell me कि मैं जो whatever solutions I'm telling, those are scientifically okay. Tomorrow somebody will not come up and say कि whatever you're saying उससे तो my hair fall has gone up, or whatever you say is wrong, it is incorrect in the medical terms of view. So that is what research is. And your source of research can be the internet, it can be your experiences, it can be your friends' experiences, it can be books, it can be, I mean, when there was no internet, we went to the library and sat for hours. So your search for research can be anything. But the first starting point is research. The second one is knowing our target audience. Who are we writing for? Or who are we creating our content for? That is very important because that will define what we write or what we say. Well, even if it's a podcast, हम क्या बोल रहे हैं, or even it's a YouTube video, depends on which is the target audience we are talking to. Is it youth? Is it old? Is it middle-aged? Is it millennial kids? Or is it somebody who, who is slightly more mature? I'm not saying millennial kids are not mature, sorry. But I'm just saying that, are we talking to men? Are we talking to women? So are we talking to professionals? Are we talking to homemakers? So first, it's very important to get us to figure out who our target audience is, because the target audience will help us choose our topic. It will help us choose our language, our tone, our tonality of making that video or writing the page or the blog would be depend on हम किसके लिए लिख रहे हैं. Because based on that, we will use words, use tones, even use colors and pictures based on who we are trying to reach out to. If at any point of time anybody is not following what I'm saying, hands up is fine, because I know this is a lot. So just as of now, everything is fine, right?
If you have any questions, you can please unmute yourself or also use the chat box for your questions.
Absolutely. Yeah. Then once we know our target audience, once we know who we are writing for, and once we have researched, then we have to figure out, then we have to make content which is engaging. मतलब ऐसे content हम बनाएं कि people want to read about it, want to know about it. ठीक है? So that is something which you have, and this is the most difficult part of it. Getting your research done is easy. Figuring your target audience is all right. Based on research, you will do that. But being able to engage people with our content is actually the most, according to me, one of the most challenging part of writing content. Because topic to kuch bhi ho. Lekin wo topic people read or watch the video or my podcast, it is the most difficult part. And that is the key for engaging and for you to become a successful blogger or a successful social media writer. The performance oriented, I have said content should be engaging or performance oriented. Performance oriented, I will handle later, where we go into the search engine, but that is more for professional writing and creating of content. There I will cover how your content can be tracked by search engine optimization. Right now, I just want to deal with that. It has to be engaging. Let's forget everything else. We have to engage. We have to connect with the person, right? So, like for example, if I like if we talk about, we see so many advertising every day, right? But which are the ads which actually stick in our minds? We'll have an Hamara Bajaj. It is engaging. It has the human connect. Or the Amul ads. Whenever we see one Amul hoarding, kabhi bhi bahar jate Amul, which is absolutely topical, but it deals with the latest topic and we connect, right? So there are so many other hoardings which we might not even look at, but Amul ke hoardings we'll keep a lookout for. Kyunki aaj ka topic, what have they written? So that is engaging content. And the other thing is use storytelling. So storytelling, I think the more I talk about it, everybody has a story to say. Everybody, and one story has various, I mean, there could be some 120 different aspects to a different story, right? Like when we talk about a Mahabharata, Duryodhan was correct, right, in his own right, because he thought I am fighting because this is my father's kingdom, right? And the Pandavas were aggrieved because they thought my own uncle is not helping us. He is doing something which is adharma. Same story, two different, but the story is so relatable. Even after thousands of years, every time there's a discussion on a Ramayana or a Mahabharata, we sit down to eat, or we sit down to watch or read or discuss. Because that has been in our mind, that is so engaging. I'm not saying all of us are capable of writing a Mahabharata, Ramayana. I'm just giving examples of things which even after we have finished reading, stays back in our mind. That is engaging content. Proofreading and editing skills. Now, this proofreading and editing skills is not just running your Grammarly or your spell check. Yes, we have a lot of tools these days. These tools help us edit and make our copy much far better. So you have spell check, you have Grammarly, you have Hemingway editor who edits, you have ChatGPT, of course. But there are more to proofreading than just running the tools. Like, are we repeating the same words? Are we repeating the same concept? So that is something also we need to see when we are proofreading and editing. And also when you're editing, you have to see whether the whatever the message I started writing about, have I covered all aspects of it? That is also part of your proofreading. And because when you start with, suppose you're starting with a headline of let me go back to the how to arrest hair fall. Okay, so if my body is what are the different reasons of hair fall ho raha hai, my confusion should be these are my solutions. I'm just saying one example that it can be anything. So my story has to be complete. That is what editing and proofreading does. And also if you're and an understanding of the search engine optimization. In today's world, since most of the content is on digital media, is on social media, a little knowledge about search engine optimization help service. It is not very difficult to do. You have something like a Google keyword planner. A keyword planner, so before you start writing your article, you can actually see what are the keywords I should be using in my heading, my body, and my conclusion, right? And also the meta description. The meta description is the title is the main title, which your search engine, suppose you're writing about 5 things you should not be doing when you're networking. I'm just saying 5 things you did wrong when you're networking. Okay. So the headline is automatically arresting attention. And so anybody in Google who wants to search about networking errors or networking, what to do in networking, automatically that will come in my Google search. The meta description is the 2-3 lines after the heading, just below your Google search, that will summarize what your entire article is about. That is your meta description. So while it is important to use the correct keywords in your title, it is also important to have the correct keywords in your description. Because the bots, whenever the Google bots, the search engine bots, when they do search, they do the search of the title, and the meta description both. And if your keyword is matching with Google's keyword, automatically your content or page will get more people or more visitors, right? So SEO is a little understanding of SEO is important for you to get traffic into your pages or your blogs. Yeah, headlines, meta description, and alt images. Yeah, alt images is something whenever you're using an image. I always encourage people to use a lot of visuals, because they say a picture says 1,000 words, right? So your picture, like if you open any website and you have an interesting picture, which is called the hero picture, which is on top of the website, right? You have an image you have a description which is describing the image. That is called an alt image. And that alt image is also important to get your keywords in that alt image, because then you're getting 2 levels of search engines working. One is the search engine of the image, because there's an SEO of image, and the alt images will also come in the search engine of the words, right? And I have always seen, even in simple things like a LinkedIn or a Facebook, if you see your Facebook post tractions, I'm not even going to a blog, I'm saying to a traction. If you make a reel or you put images, you will find 400 likes. While if you have just copy without photos, you have 140 likes. So an image always adds that extra flavor to your content, and it helps get the traffic, because it is visually narrating what you are saying in the blog. Are we okay with the 5 different basic skills for writing content? Shall I go to the next? Okay.
Aloka, there's a question from Karthik Sehgal. He wants to know that how to avoid plagiarism.
How to avoid plagiarism is, again, do your research, right? So if you are researching, suppose you're writing on a technical on a medical about a medical in a medical journal, or about an appliance or about a gadget, whatever, and your research source is obviously the internet, please do not use the words that you are researching from. A lot of time, the mistake we make is we go do the research and we do a shortcut. We do a copy paste of the research pages and we think that we have made an article. Never ever do that. So understand the concept and then write your own words, right? So your concept is not plagiarism, but writing exactly what the guy is and add a few different views of yours, right? So suppose you're writing that the iPhone 5 I'm doing, suppose you're a writer who is writing for different gadgets, right? Because there's a lots of this gadget reviews which happens. Do not write what another guy has said. So if your review is the same, add a different thing. Well, while I agree, well, this is also not there. So while speed is great, but battery drains out. So differentiate your post or your blogs or whatever you write. So then you don't have the problem of getting plagiarized. And never cut and paste, because the moment you're cutting and pasting, that is up there for plagiarism. So you can never post something which you have already cut and paste from another article, another source. Have I answered your question, Karthik?
Yeah, he said.
Yeah, thank you. So this is about how to create a niche and grab attention. So when you're setting out, this is basically for the people. I saw a lot of people are less than 1 year experience in writing or copywriting or creating content is for them. When you set out, how do you establish yourself? Because the first pehla wala blog aap jo likhoge, the 5 people will see it, but don't get discouraged. So this section is about when you're setting out as a content creator, how do you get traction? How do you get more and more people? How do you increase your visibility? How do you establish yourself as an authority on whatever subject you're writing about? Most important, choose whatever, as I said, choose a topic or choose, like I love talking about content creation because I'm passionate about it, right? I like talking about networking because I'm passionate about it. I like talking about marketing and because I'm passionate about it. I'm not saying start with 3 different topics, but start with a topic that you are really passionate about, because आपकी वो passion आपकी content creation में दिखने वाला है. Because आप passionate हो तो आप research करोगे, आप passionate हो तो उसका originality होगा आपका content में, or that is how you're going to distinguish your content from the others. So please choose whatever your interest is. It can be real, it can be imaginary. I'm not saying that you have to write about real life problems. You can be a storyteller, you can write stories, but it has to be a topic of your interest. Like, mythology is your interest, write about it. Children's stories is your interest, pick it up, but pick up the topic that you love most. And once you have done that, create a portfolio for yourself. So once you have chosen that I'm going to write, suppose, about mythology, or I'm going to write about gadget reviews, or I'm going to write about how, how to take care of being an empty nester. I'm just giving. How am I going to talk about how to improve concentration? You can be writing about anything, but choose that topic and start writing about it. First, create 3-4 different articles, 3-4 blogs or ebooks, or, start with just a LinkedIn post or a Facebook post, right? So, Facebook and LinkedIn, when you write long post, see which are the topics people are resonating more with. ठीक है? देखो कौन सा वाला टॉपिक में ज्यादा लाइक्स मिलती है. So maybe that's something which is close to your heart and also close to a lot of other people's heart. So maybe you want to choose that, right? And then once you've built a portfolio, as I said, start posting across social media. And here you can do a little bit of cheating. अगर आपने एक अच्छा वाला blog लिख दिया, you can tweak the language a little bit and use the same topic for a Facebook and a LinkedIn. Like Facebook, it will be more of a storytelling style, more of an informal style. Like, if you put effort in creating that content, make it a little formal, change the approach, and also make another post for LinkedIn. So you are using your content and tweaking and putting in different of your posts before you become a blogger. I'm just saying this is your process of figuring out what you're going to write about, right? And then start putting your blogs. As I said, do not expect 500 people to read your first blog. There might be 10 people, but do not get, let's not get disgruntled and write another one. Let's put 3-4 blogs and figure out which topic is actually making more sense with the people. Where am I getting more people to connect? These are the other platforms of start posting on social media, like Quora. The Quora is a forum, right? People put, suppose I have knowledge about something, I put it up. Some people will agree to this, some people will not agree to this. This is a forum which you can start, even you can, it is a test drive. You can do your test writing in these chota forums like a Quora or a Reddit, right? Where you put a chota, maybe even one paragraph. You don't have to put the entire one article for these platforms, and see how people are reacting. What's the engagement? Are people only reading, or are people also commenting on what you're reading? The moment people comment, which means you are getting traction because people are engaging. Medium.com is a very good source, but that is for little longer blogs. So if you think you're ready with your first blog or an article, you can put it on medium.com. And they normally cover a lot of good topics, and it's an open magazine. You can have various topics being put up. And whenever you're putting up a blog or writing in Quora or Reddit, or just put the link on a LinkedIn, or even if you're not putting your entire article, you are your own brand ambassador. Remember, we are all our own brand ambassador. So हमने कुछ भी लिखा है, put a link of that in LinkedIn. So LinkedIn में we already have our followers. Facebook में हमारा friends तो है. At least they will go and read my article in Reddit or Quora or medium.com. So what are we doing? We are advertising our own article by putting the clip in all our, the link in all our social media platforms. Create your own LinkedIn. If you have not, I'm sure everybody has, please create and update your LinkedIn profile, because with all the relevant information, with all the keywords. So if you are setting out to write about the problems of bringing up a toddler, for example, or the problem, or you're writing about another gadget, whatever you're writing about, or if you're writing about a travel, for example, you want to be a travel writer, whatever you're writing about, please, when you're putting your LinkedIn profile, updating it, please use the keywords there. LinkedIn by itself it's a search engine by itself. So every time you're getting your profile is there with the keywords, if there are organizations or there are platforms who are looking out for writers or content creators with those keywords, automatically your profile will pop up in the LinkedIn search. So it is not just important to write about Tamara experience kya hai, but when we are writing about that, wo copy mein keywords. Please choose the keywords. Now, this is the keyword which describes me the best, so that when LinkedIn guys do a search, or for example, National Geographic wants videos on tigers, then my tiger natural hashtag natural photography, or animal photography, or natural forest photography, those hashtags automatically come up in my keywords, so they can get back to me saying that, can I use some of your photos, or can I use your content? Am I understood? So while you're optimizing your profile, please get the keywords and start writing. As I already mentioned, writing your long post on LinkedIn. See what your traction is. If you're hesitant on getting into the blog stage, start here. Start in your Facebook and your LinkedIn. Establish your authority by blogging. Yeah. So this is when we know that, okay, these guys, my friends, like this topic best. Okay. So that is what I'm getting maximum like. I know what my topic is. So then let's start putting more and more of write-ups about that in different blogs. And also in my LinkedIn, and or as I said, put in your whatever. But let's start writing. Let's blog about it. Let's talk about it. If we can do a video, let's put a video about it. Let's do, reels about it. I'm just saying that you have to be seen in the various medium as somebody who really knows about this topic. So if I'm looking at an authority who knows how to bring up toddlers, I'm going to look at this person. Or if I know what if I'm going camping at Ladakh and what should I carry with me, I should get in touch with this person, because what am I doing? I'm solving the problems of my fellow traveler who is traveling to a place like Ladakh, जहां जाने के लिए हमें ऑक्सीजन कम है, हमें क्या मेडिसिन लेनी है, क्या गियर लेनी है. So whatever we are writing about, as I said, we should be establishing our authority on that subject. So let's keep on writing about it in different forums. The blogs are for people starting, WordPress.com, Blogger.com, Weebly.com. They are great places to start blogging. They're all free. You can just go there and start blogging. You can put up your blogs there. There are Fever and Upwork. They're also the two platforms. Now, if you're writing content and you're not sure whether you're going the right way, you don't have a mentor who would help. If you have a mentor, great. If you have somebody who knows how to edit or whether you're writing correctly, please follow up with them. Just tell them, the boss, can you see my copy? Make a couple of friends read it and say, "Ye boring to nahi hai, am I okay?" So make different people get their feedback. Be ruthless about feedback and don't feel bad if people say it's trash. Redo it again. A lot of people बोले ये क्या लिखा है, बहुत ही बोरिंग है, तो मैं तो एक पैराग्राफ से ज्यादा नहीं पढ़ सकती. ठीक है, I went wrong. Let me reword it. ठीक है. Now, Fever and Upwork, these are two platforms. They normally, if you send them your writing, they evaluate. But free lunches नहीं है उनके लिए. बदले में they will make you do some free work. मतलब they will make you do some freelance work. So, but they will evaluate and tell you whether you're on the right track or not on the right track. Okay, now we have come to how to navigate your thoughts in creating compelling content, and basically we'll say how to make your content very effective. It's a continuation, there's a subset of that. So how to make your content effective. As I said, good ideas always come. We have thousands. I started by saying we get hundreds of ideas on how to create content, but the trick is how to make that connect with your readers and get your readers to engage and like you. And that comes with a lot of practice. It doesn't come. So if you are saying the first month, I've got 5 blogs and they're all going to be a hit, no. Content creation requires a little bit of patience because it's a little creative work. Okay, start with a catchy headline. I think we have already kind of covered this. The headline determines the audiences, because if your headline is good, they will go down. If they don't, you will not even get a click. They will go past your content. It needs to spark interest or excite the reader to want to learn about whatever the topic you are, okay? One of the things which I've figured out, as I said, I also mentioned, is a few headlines which really work as people really get catchy headlines are 5. If you put numbers, if you start your headline with 3 steps to getting the best content, or 7 things you did wrong or 7 things that you did wrong when you're doing your networking. So these numbers, or 3, again, I talked about healthier hair here also. So the numbers, if you have that number in the headline, it has been seen that you get 30 to 40% higher traction. And your headline cannot be more than 60 characters. So that is another thing, because of the digital writing these days. We would like our headline, because the headline should be in one and it should not get truncated. Matlab break nahi honi chahiye. So your headline size should not be more than 60 characters. Character matlab ek alphabet, ek character. ठीक है? और दो वर्ड के बीच अगर गैप है, that is also one character. So when I would be actually 5 plus 1, 6 characters. WHIN 4 plus 1 in the middle, that is also a character, the gap, and Y, I. Okay. So the characters, it is 60 characters, is what is optimal for your for your title. And again, when you're writing your headline, please use your Google Keyword Planner. Google Keyword Planner comes. I'm not asking you SEMrush. बहुत सारे tools है like SEMrush and all that, but वो उसके लिए you have to pay 10,000 rupees a month. Not required. Google Planner, Keyword Planner gives you the keyword which works. Sorry. So if you just have to download the Google Keyword Planner and just go there, ask for the keyword, the topic keyword, put there. They will tell you what percentage of which words or which keywords are mostly used, mostly searched. So they will kind of guide you to which are the keywords you should use in your type. ठीक है? Then once you're done with the headline, then comes your description. That is if you're writing for the content and your first paragraph. Earlier we used to say your first paragraph decides whether the guy will go to the rest of your article or no. Right now it is the first paragraph और वो meta description जो बताया मैंने, जो summary देता है what is the article about, that summary and how you start your article, that has to grab everybody's attention, or at least your target audience's audience. क्योंकि हम तो सबके लिए लिख नहीं रहे, हम तो एक स्पेसिफिक टारगेट ऑडियंस, तो हमारा टारगेट ऑडियंस जो भी है, दे हैव टू बी टोटली एंगेज, जो हमारा फर्स्ट 2-3 लाइन से. सो दैट फर्स्ट पैराग्राफ हैज टू बी रियली कैची, रियली एंगेजिंग. Make the introduction magnetic, and the description, the meta description cannot be more than 150 characters. I'll tell you the reason why. Because aajkal everybody sees things on your phone, right? So 150 when you're looking at a blog on your computer screen, it can go up to 160 characters because your website, your device, your computer, the device you're using is your laptop. So then your number of characters can go up. But for the phone, when you're seeing, we mostly, हम लोग आजकल ज्यादातर फोन से सब कुछ देख लेते हैं, तो फोन अगर यूज करते हैं एज अ डिवाइस, तो 132 के ऊपर, द मोमेंट योर कैरेक्टर इज 132, आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट नॉट द टाइटल, द डिस्क्रिप्शन नीचे, देन द इट गेट्स ट्रंकेटेड, मतलब तब वो स्टंट हो जाते हैं. सो दैट्स व्हाई आई से दैट एवरीबॉडी ट्राई एंड कीप द डिस्क्रिप्शन 132 कैरेक्टर्स में. Focus on a single purpose, your key message. So figure out what your key message is. What is the purpose of writing the blog? What is the message you want to give to your audience? Focus on that one single key message. Then you jot down what are the points you want your, before this is, before you even start writing your blog, jot down the main points. Ki mere target audience should get to know about this, or I want to communicate these points to my target audience, right? So दो main points हमने बना लिए. That makes much easier because those becomes my content subheads, and I just fill up and elaborate on that. And the key message is what I will go back to continuously whenever I'm writing the article, or even the conclusion of the blog. So suppose I'll give you an example of Johnson & Johnson. Okay. So Johnson & Johnson, to sell their products, they did a very interesting thing. वो क्या किया? वो product के बारे में directly नहीं, on their Facebook and on their page, J&J page, they didn't directly talk about ki buy my oil, buy my talcum powder, buy my whatever, right? They wanted to reach the artist. This is my target audience is mothers and parents, right? So what they talked about in their page, they called an open forum. I can tell you because I was part of the Johnson & Johnson team, so I have done this myself. ठीक है. So they started to know we used to have a 1 hour a week forum where people could ask any question about bringing up kids. So for a first time mother, and they were also encouraged कि आपका जितना भी queries है आप लिख दीजिए आपका हमारे Facebook page में, we will answer. So they connected. The key message was, I love your kid. The key message of Johnson & Johnson is that we are there for your kids. Nobody knows your kid better than Johnson & Johnson. How are we proving that? By addressing all the problems of all the mothers and answering their questions. So I am not selling my product. I am not saying कि J&J or Johnson & Johnson lotion खरीद लीजिए या मेरा बेबी पाउडर खरीद लीजिए. मैं क्या बोल रही हूँ कि मेरे से अलावा जॉनसन जॉनसन से अलावा और कोई आपके बच्चे के बारे में जानता ही नहीं है. I am the authority about kids. Ask me, I will answer. I am your agony aunt. Plus I am your Mossy, plus I am your mother, plus I am everything put in one thing. The key message here is nobody knows about your babies better than Johnson & Johnson. But wrapped in all this packaging. So it's very important to get that key message up there and see कि हमारा content जो है, whether it is going back to that key message, am I establishing the key message?
अमित सर आ गए मीटिंग में. मैं बोल रहा हूँ कब भेजेंगे सारे.
Can you please be on mute? Thank you.
Okay. So your key message can be 1 or 2 or 3. Sometimes if you're solving a problem, you can have 3 key messages, right? The first message will be outlining the problem. The first one will define the problem. Sorry, this is my problem. Okay, this is my problem that I have got whatever I have got terrible hair fall, or I am an introvert. Let's move from hair fall now. I'm an introvert. I can't network with people. That's my problem. Then outline how the rest of the copy with what's the problem, and the third will be the solution. How do introverts actually network? I'm giving you the solution. So that's my copy. If I'm doing मुझे networking करनी है लेकिन मैं introvert हूँ, how do I? So my problem is the first part. That's my key message. Second is the outlining कि problem क्यों, किस लिए? Why am I an introvert? Is it because I have a syndrome of where I am not sure about myself, or there are other reasons? The third part will talk about how I take care of the problem. Beware, if I'm running out of time, let me know. How much time do I have?
Usually it's a 1 hour session, Aloka.
Okay, so I'll just rush through because I think I'm just okay, fair enough. Okay, write in your unique voice. So unique voice, I've already talked about your voice. So whether it's you're writing a personal thing, it is you. If you're writing on behalf of a brand or a company, it is whatever their brand values, which becomes your core voice, right? So if I'm writing for Horlicks, for example, so what are the Horlicks different 2-3 different things they're talking about? Ek to poshtik ahar for bachos, for mothers, for everybody. So what is Horlicks stand for? For nourishment. So that is my brand value with talks when I'm talking from a brand. If I'm talking as Aloka, what am I? My voice talks. So that's a unique voice. And most important is, please be honest to who we are. क्योंकि आज मैं जो हूं, मैं 5 महीने बाद वही रहूंगी. My voice and my beliefs, which is reflecting in my writing or my content, change नहीं होनी चाहिए. क्योंकि अगर हम dishonest हो तो कभी-कभी वो आ ही जाएंगे. So if you are honest, we'll have one single voice, which will run across. Okay, digital, we are optimizing digital content. I think I've already covered the optimizing of text, meta title, meta description. As I already said, the numbers and getting your keywords. Meta title is a headline. I think I've already explained that. Catchy for the title, and meta description is blog that appears below your title. That's a summary of your page. So every time a search engine works, your title and your meta title are the ones which gets your visitors or your target audience to your page. So if they like it, they'll click on it. It's like that. When we do a Google search, we see what happens. So when we want to know about, suppose what is the weather there or whatever, does iPhone 4 work under this, is better than iPhone 5? So you will get the title, yes, and you will get a meta description, right? So those kind of stuff would counts in the search. And as they rightly said, nobody goes to Google page 2. How do we do? When we search, we only click on the things which are on page 1, right? So if we get our what is it called? The keywords correct, more and more people will click and come to our page. The higher our rankings will be, the higher our traffic to our site or our blog or our website or whatever would be. Okay, I have digital content optimization I've talked about. It has to be correct and effective, and there are a few you can take the help of on-page SEO checker or site audit. These are a few tools you can use for optimizing your meta descriptions. But I'll tell you, the simplest is the Google Keyword Planner. Start with that. That's a great tool and a great help. It comes free. I'm always fond of things which come free. So it's really cool. Next, then your introduction has to be magnetic so that people get hooked. I think I've made, and most important, make your copy easily readable. Like हमने बहुत सारा डिक्शनरी देख के लंबे लंबे वर्ड्स और बड़े बड़े वर्ड्स सीख लिया, जरूरत नहीं है कॉपी में डाल दो, क्योंकि वो कॉपी पढ़ते वक्त nobody would want to go back to the dictionary सोचने के लिए कि ये क्या लिखा है. तो हम when we used to go to, when हमने जब communication में पहले शुरू किया था, they used to use something called the KISS principle, KISS. Keep it stupid, simple, stupid. Yeah. So, okay. Now we'll get to types of content. So these are the different kinds of content: creative writing, copywriting, journalistic writing, technical writing, script writing, and business writing. Creative writing is basically which is something original in content. It can be a story, it can be an ebook, it can be a poetry. It is something that you come from your experiences, right? So your creative writing is when I'm writing a blog about it can be your travel experiences. It is a totally original content, and it can be a novel, like it can be a short blog, it can be anything. But those are your own content. That is nothing to do with research. Yeah, you research here to figure out what topic to write about, but your content is original, it's yours, right? You can write a horror story. So, horror stories, har koi padta hai. I love horror stories. So that is creative writing. Copywriting is normally written for advertising or products, or to sell any product or any service, right? So the writing of the copywriting is completely different in format. That is short, small sentences, concise sentences which are very catchy. Immediately, this is a Hamara Bajaj type, Hamara Bajaj, or the Nourishment, Nike type. Just do it, right? So catchy small sentences. That's the copywriting of ad. There's mostly to sell a product. You can also use it to sign up a newsletter or whatever, but it's basically selling a service or selling a product. Journalistic writing, we all know it's about reporting stories, factual events, or news analysis. That is also story. It can be investigated. So journalistic writing is normally classified into news, investigative, feature, and opinion, where you have the opinion page. Her newspaper में एक op-ed page आता है where the editors talk about their opinion about what's happening in the country. So that's opinion page. And then you have investigative journalism, which is just not news, but it is talking about various, basically a journalist goes about and finds what actually went wrong or what That's investigative journalism. Style of writing of a journalism is totally different from creative writing. Here it is an inverted pyramid. So today 20 people died. 20 people died in a falling of the bridge in Kola for him. So your first sentence or first line should almost, in your first paragraph, should actually give you the entire thing. How many people died, where? They say how, where, how, why. These three things have to be covered in that first 3 lines of your article. So it should talk where it happened, how it happened, why it happened, who are the people impacted who happened. That should come in the first 3 lines. So that's your journalistic news writing. Again, the ABC of journalistic writing is accuracy, because you cannot go wrong in your facts, brevity, chota, and concise, and clarity, clear and simple language. Technical writing normally happens in manuals or ebooks, or it can be people writing about specialized topics, right? So you can write a medical on environmental regulations, medical applications. So that's what technical writing is. So normally you have to know about that industry, and these usually are longer in formats, far longer than your other blogs. So technical writing normally comes in ebooks, or it comes in white papers, it comes in manuals. They are longish, that go on to many pages. Formats are the language has to be more technical, because you have to know jargons. Here you use jargons, but in the others you don't. In this style of writing, there's a lot of use of jargons. Script writing is used a script for television, or it can be a corporate film, it can be a regular film. So while if I'm doing a story or a novel, I'm writing, I'm also building characters. But here, when I'm doing a script writing or a screenwriting, I'm thinking visually. I'm not writing once upon a time this lived. Once upon a time, the guy, there's a girl who lived in Vietnam or whatever. Or suppose that for simple reasons, suppose simple thing. Let's start with the Gita. Okay. So how does the Gita start? This one, Dhritarashtra asking Sanjay, what is Kurukshetra, Dharmakshetra, Kurukshetra, what is happening? Let me know. Okay. If I have to convert that into a visual for television, what would I do? Act 1, scene 1. Daytime. My stage is on one side, I have loads of chariots on the other side. So I have to depict the scene from a playwright's point of view, right? There in the chariot, then I will write on a chariot, chariot with white horses. Stands Arjuna facing Krishna. And he is asking Krishna this question. He is asking Krishna this questions. So the same story that I have, I am making into be a visual narrative. Because here I have to think scene 1. Okay, scene 2. He is talking about the next topic. That's my scene 2. Like, I don't know if anybody of you guys have read Shakespeare plays. So plays are also meant to be enacted. But when I change that for film, I have to add to it visual stuff like marketplace, what's the daytime, what is the age of the person, what are the different things that people are doing, right? So it is basically, you have to think that what am I going to see on screen based on that. So it's a visual narrative. So when you're changing a story to screenplay, is something which requires a little bit of training. I mean, if you're starting fresh in blogging and writing content, there are a lot of courses, free courses again, from Coursera. If anybody is interested in screenwriting, Coursera, Coursera. They do a lot of training courses for script writing. Okay, business writing is again short, to the point, concise, and meant for quick consumption. Because nobody who is doing business writing, reading your stuff, your email or your posts or your blogs or whatever you have written to, they have business, people in business, people in industry, people in jobs have very little time. So those have to be very direct, clear, and very easy for quick consumption. Business, okay, so they can be categorized into instructional, informational, persuasive, and transactional based on whatever your whatever business, what your email or whatever your. So in that you have to stay away from cliches and slang. Keep your writing really tight and small. Normally we say this should not be more than a page. For business emails, we normally say don't make it more than 2 paragraphs, and your first paragraph should more or less say what your problems or what you want to say, whether it's a persuasive or informational, whatever. Keep it very tight and small. Keep it simple and clear, and please have a very courteous tone, because you're talking to business people who have got, all of us have egos. It has to be very courteous when you're writing those business communication. Okay, now this I think I've covered more or less a lot. How much time do I have, Viva?
Aloka, I think we can wrap it up in the next 5-10 minutes.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Yeah, so based on that, I'll just... okay, so these I have mostly, most of this I've gone through how to ace your digital content, like proper headlines. But most important, create a calendar. Somebody said that they have a problem with consistency. So I would request for digital and social media, you need to have a calendar based on what your capabilities are. So if you think I'm going to post every Wednesday on LinkedIn, please do it every Wednesday. But do not miss your deadline. So make a matrix of calendar, where, what. So if I'm going to do a Friday on LinkedIn, can I do a Wednesday in Facebook? Can I do something on Instagram? Should I do my blog? Even if you're doing a blog, should I do it once in 2 weeks, once in a month? Depends on how much content you can come with. But if we have put that calendar, please stick to the calendar. Otherwise, it will fizzle out. Even that effort of 1 or 2 blogs will go waste. Keywords, I have already talked about. Learn about your audience, do a thorough research. We have covered detailed outline, subheading, yes. Compelling intro, we have talked generic, that kind of applies for digital as well. Perfect your writing tone. Your tone as tonality is very important, because that's again who you are. Grab attention. Yeah, with your meta title tags and meta descriptions are very important. Make them SEO friendly. Add links to your content. This I have not covered. That is when you're writing, suppose you're writing a well-researched article, which is not original piece. And if you can put the links of from where you have taken the research, that is not plagiarism, Karthik. So if Karthik is still there, that is not plagiarism, because you can put the links of that wherever you have done your research from. The links, most importantly, does 2 things. One, it drives a few of the visitors from that website to yours. 2, the search bots, the bots that we see, BOTS bots, the search bots also, when they see a lot of external links in your article or blog, they realize that you have done a lot of research. So automatically they generate traffic. Enhance visual appeal with images. I think already have so your images can be images. It can be, if you're writing an informative thing, it can be infographics. Infographics is a very interesting thing if you're giving information about stuff. But please have alt tags or alt images. Tag your images. Put those descriptions there with the correct keywords. And images always help get more traction. Avoid repetition, I have already mentioned. Take help from writing tools like a keyword planner. I have already said that's the best thing to use. Grammarly for correcting your grammar, and Hemingway editor. You just have to download them and attach to your, download them on your laptop or whatever you're using. They will start working on whatever you are working on. Check your competitors. I think I've already kind of mentioned it, that please see what people have covered. Even if you're using the same topic, change your tone, change your approach, change your views. So even if it's the same, it can be the same topic, but just repackage it. Humanize your content. Connect with, address with your readers. There's nothing more important than humanizing your content. That's when I say use storytelling. When you when you are getting into the, like when you are talking to mothers who are having a problem with bringing up kids 1 to 5, tell your own experiences. So when you say, I went through this, you're automatically connecting. Then you are saying that you are human. When you're talking about 5 mistakes you make while you are bringing up kids, or 5 mistakes you make when you're writing content, you are also saying, these are the mistakes I have made. I have learned from my mistakes, so you please learn from me, right? We all make mistakes. So humanize. The moment you humanize, people connect far better. Do not oversell anything. Even if you're writing for example, a company, do not oversell. I had explained how Johnson & Johnson did it, right? They did an indirect sell. So do not promise your readers, even if you're solving a problem for them, do not promise your readers. हम कुछ भी promise कर देंगे, it's not because हम तो है नहीं सब कुछ देने वाले, हम तो सिर्फ लिख रहे हैं और content create कर रहे हैं, इसलिए हम तो we can't solve all problems just like that. Do not overpromise. Encourage them to ask questions. Any blogs and posts where it have ended with people saying, if you have questions on this, get back to me, very high traction. So if you are solving a problem or talking about anything, encourage people to ask your questions. क्योंकि automatically engagement हो ही जाता है. वो question कर रहा है मतलब engagement तो हो ही गया. वापस आप जवाब दोगे, वापस engagement, right? So that increases your engagement. Keep your content informating, engaging. Yeah. Google Analytics is something for tracking your progress. Is the best tool. This is again free. Microsoft has something called Clarity that is also free, but Google Analytics is, according to me, is far more comprehensive because it totally gives you insights about what you're going to write about, the tone you will write, कैसे लिखना है, कौन सा टोन में लिखना है, कौन से फॉर्मेट में लिखना है, कौन से कीवर्ड्स डालनी है, कौन सा कीवर्ड लोग ज्यादा यूज कर रहे हैं, नहीं कर रहे हैं, सब आपको आ जाएंगे. एंड आपका जो भी आपने ब्लॉग लिखा है या वेबसाइट क्रिएट किया है या पेज क्रिएट किया है, all you have to do is download a code. उनका एक HTML कोड आता है Google Analytics का. So when you download Google Analytics, they give you an HTML code. वो आप आपके पेज से लिंक कर लेना. It's all free. So वो बता देंगे आपका कितना विजिटर्स है, कितना विजिटर्स आ रहा है, नहीं आ रहा है, सब कुछ बता देता है. And click-through rates एक होता है, but that's mostly for ads and promotional. When are you clicking? Are you seeing your thing on the YouTube? Are you actually clicking or are you going through it? So clicking means if you're clicking on your ad or your video, which means engagement. If you're not clicking, going through, it's only impressions, which means it is not engaging enough. Call to action button is basically the button you have at the end of any article saying buy now, subscribe now, do this now. That is your call to action button. It can be subscription. It can be join YouTube Premium now. That's your call to action button. So an effective call to button should be not in isolation, but should be built up throughout your article with that button. These are a few content writing platforms which you can try with. The freelancer.com, people per hour, guru.com, these are all Indian ones. Well, the others are international. These 3-4 are Indian platforms where you can start writing your platform content and you get paid. If they like your content, they'll pay you. Different formats of content. I think these are the blog posts, articles, travel logs. We have talked about all this. Video posts, webinars, podcasts, interviews, screenplays, vloggers, commercials, videos, and websites. How to measure the success is we have already talked about. Visitor count is the basis, is the most important basis. Reflects all your Google Analytics will give you all this. It will tell you how many visitors have visited your site or page, how much time they have spent there. So a lot of time you have impressions, but not clicks. So when your impressions are high and clicks are not there, which means Google search is bringing up your page, but your audience is not engaging, right? So this the reports of and the Google Analytics will also tell you an analysis of how many first-time visitors, how many return visitors. So if you're getting return visitors, obviously your content is engaging. Okay, now there's another thing called clicks versus bounds. बाउंसेस कभी कोई आ जाता है आपके पेज में 2-3 सेकंड में चले जाता है, उसको बाउंस बोलता है, ठीक है। सो आपका बाउंस रेट अगर ज्यादा हो, मतलब आपका योर थिंग इज नॉट engaging, or there's some mismatch between your content and your target audience, you have to kind of rework on that, because for a click establish करने के लिए a person will have to stay on your page, I think anything between 15 to 30 seconds, right? Anybody who goes out of your page before 15 seconds or 20 seconds, which means that's a bounce. Matlab they didn't like what your content is. Okay, time spent. As I said, Google Analytics will give you all that. The time spent, how much, which are, if you are a multi-page website, they will also give you an analysis, or a multi-page content. They will tell you which page or which topic people are spending more time on, so that you can write more about that. Page views for sessions, again, on I think I've covered that. Focus on pages with similar content. Yeah, page views analysis, the metrics of how much time people have spent every session, every time they have come to your page, kitne time they have spent. That's your page views. Okay, device information is very important. I've covered it, but I'm just covering it once more. Google Analytics also tells you कौन सा device लोग use कर रहे हैं. लैपटॉप ज्यादा यूज कर रहे हैं आपके टारगेट ऑडियंस, या फोन यूज कर रहे हैं. अगर फोन ज्यादा यूज कर रहे हैं तो जैसे मैंने बोला, कैरेक्टर छोटा कीजिए, आपका ऑप्टिमाइजेशन उसके हिसाब से कीजिए. Monitor each search engine. Okay, there's a Google console which tells you impression versus clicks. So I have already mentioned about impression. मतलब Google puts up search में आपका topic, but actually लोग click करे and goes to your article. That is the click. Click is when they have clicked on the article and started reading your page or website. So that's an analysis which Google console gives you. Do not get too overburdened with all this. At the end of it, you will see the basics of visitors, likes, engagement, comments. And Google Analytics gives you so do not get too much bogged down with, if a lot of this is technological terms, do not get too bogged down is my advice. Stick to your content and just stick to the number of views you're getting, or the number of visitors you're getting. And if people are asking questions, if they're engaging, if they're commenting, right? Slowly, you will graduate to getting an understanding of, Google Analytics. As I said, Google Analytics is free and it's a great comprehensive tracking tool. More or less to tell you कि मैं ठीक लिख रही हूँ, मेरा टॉपिक ठीक है, मेरा हेडर ठीक है, मेरा कीजी ठीक है, टारगेट ऑडियंस ठीक है. What are people seeing better? Okay. So, as I said, do not get overwhelmed with too much of search engine optimization. Just use it for your keywords. The rest, write cracking and create cracking content. People will come and read your stuff. As I said, there's no shortcut. Pehla page blog mein, people will slowly come. So it requires patience, but keep at it, redefine it, fine tune it, keep at it. Like they said, the description starts in your mind, but ultimately the reader, we are successful when the reader has the same imagination as what we started with.